No one's gonna come and save us, man. Those were the thunderous words shouted across Bryant Park on Saturday, not from a Marvel movie script, but from the man behind the Hulk himself, Mark Ruffalo. In a fiery, heartfelt speech that electrified thousands, Ruffalo threw down the gauntlet in a powerful public stand against Donald Trump and his ongoing influence in American politics. As the sun beat down on a buzzing New York City, over 2,000 people packed into the park as part of the nationwide No Kings protests. Their unified message? America doesn't bow to kings. And Ruffalo, ever the activist Avenger hybrid, led the charge. We're going to have to be brave if we want to be free, Ruffalo declared passionately, his voice echoing across the crowd. Being brave for what we hold dear, our freedoms, our democracy, and each other. It's on us, guys. Literally, together, we're the Avengers now. No CGI, no green body paint, just raw conviction. The Hulk has spoken, and it wasn't subtle. This wasn't just a symbolic appearance. Ruffalo came armed with a speech that could rival any big-screen monologue, except this wasn't fiction. It was a clarion call, a warning, and a rally cry. No one's going to come and save us, he emphasized. Americans unite. That phrase, part motivation, part manifesto, drew loud cheers, whistles, and a few tears from a crowd already on edge. His words felt less like celebrity commentary and more like a captain rallying his team on the battlefield. And in many ways, that's exactly what it was. Saturday's event marked one of over 2,000 coordinated protests across the U.S. under the No Kings banner, a sprawling, people-powered movement resisting what many see as the creeping shadow of authoritarianism under Trump's resumed leadership and influence. A protest born on Trump's birthday. If the timing felt symbolic, that's because it absolutely was. June 14th, also Trump's 79th birthday, was marked not just by candles and cake, but by a controversial $45 million military parade in Washington, D.C., greenlit by Trump himself. While tanks rolled down the streets of the nation's capital in a display many critics described as dictator cosplay, citizens in cities from New York to L.A. were marching to a very different beat. Ruffalo, who took the stage shortly after comedian Ilana Glazer, painted a sharp contrast between the people's protest and what he called Trump's kingly dictator military birthday bash. While Trump today is blowing $45 million of our tax money pretending he's the emperor of America, we're out here by the hundreds of thousands in true patriotic spirit, Ruffalo said. Just like the Boston Tea Party, we're saying no to tyranny, a vision of peace and what's at stake. Before he brought out the Marvel metaphors, Ruffalo opened with something more personal. He spoke not just as an actor, but as a father, a husband, a citizen, a human being trying to hold on to peace in turbulent times. We're holding on for dear life, and what's dear to us about being alive, he said, his voice steady, eyes scanning the crowd. What's dear to me is calm and peace and safety. It's my health, it's my family, my friends, my neighbors, my community, and all the different beautiful people of this country. In a world where political speeches often feel rehearsed and hollow, Ruffalo's delivery hit different, not just because he's famous, but because it felt personal, raw, real. No more kings. The protest's central message, no kings, wasn't just catchy branding. It was a direct rebuke of what Ruffalo described as Trump's authoritarian posturing and the billionaire elites backing him. We didn't want to be ruled by a king, Ruffalo reminded the crowd, or a monarch, or a dictator, or a supreme leader, or some crappy-ass CEO. Ruffalo wasn't alone. Saturday's protests saw a wave of celebrity support, turning parks and plazas into platforms for change. Joining Ruffalo on site or speaking at events across the country were Susan Sarandon, Kerry Washington, Glenn Close, Ilana Glazer, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Ayo Edebiri, Anna Sophia Robb, and Emily Osment, each lending their voices to the cause. For some, it was their first protest. For others, it was just another chapter in a long history of resistance. But the unified message was impossible to ignore. Silence is complicity, and the time to act is now. Not just protest, a movement. The No Kings campaign isn't a one-day spectacle. Organizers say this is just the beginning of a long, sustained movement leading into the 2026 midterms and beyond. And if Saturday proved anything, it's that when celebrities, citizens, and communities come together, united not by fame or fortune, but by shared values, they can create real momentum. As Ruffalo reminded the crowd one last time, we're the Avengers now. No special effects, no capes, just people, standing together fighting for what matters.